Yay, we're recording! So welcome to Fun Food and Facts. I'm so excited to have you guys here tonight. And we're going to go ahead and get started with Pam Callahan. Pam Callahan is going to be doing the food tonight. I'm so excited to see what she does. So I'm going to put you over on the screen, Pam Callahan. And then also, for anybody who needs to know, if you see other people's screens pop up or just mine, if you click on her video and click pin video, then she will be your main video on there, all right? All right, Pam Callahan, go ahead and take over.
Okay. Well, tonight, Fun Food and Facts, Sam's going to be sending you the recipe that I'm going to be making today. And it is all made with our Smart Steamer. Now, our Smart Steamer, as you know, is our featured product when our Say Yes offer. So our Say Yes offer is the purple Smart Steamer. I want to see if I can make me a little bit bigger here because I can't see me. I'm going to click on me, maybe. Okay, that does nothing. All right. Anyhow, you can see my little PowerChef, right? Okay. We're going to be using the Smart Steamer. Now, the Smart Steamer, as I said, I'm going to be making a ginger lime shrimp, by the way. So it's a great appetizer. You can use it over rice pilaf if you want to do with that. But I'm using my own home Smart Steamer, not the purple one. For some of you newbies are like, why is it green? It's because this is my home one. I didn't want to go out to the garage to get my one in my kit. But I'm all ready. I have the 1 3/4 cup of water already in the base. Never forget to put the water in the base, because that's really what this is happening. The microwave only sees the water in the base because the rest of it is encapsulated metal. So there's Tupperware around the metal. So this is encapsulated with Tupperware, but inside is metal. And at my parties, I always pass it around. They're like, whoa, this is really heavy. And the base too. So there's 2 colanders. We have the shallow colander, and then we have the deeper colander. And I'm going to be using the deeper colander today. I'm sort of making a half recipe. When you get the recipe from Sam, when you get it, you can double it. But, you know, for me and Tammy, I'm like, I'm not making 2 pounds of shrimp for us to snack on. So it's only going to be 1 pound. So I half the recipe. So you can double it when you get it. And it's very easy to make. And a lot of ingredients, I didn't have to get anything in the store. I already basically had it. And we're going to use 2 cloves of garlic, and they're smashed. And the reason why you want to smash them, there they are. When they're not smashing, smash. When you smash them, it releases the antioxidants that are in garlic. So right there, you got a great ingredient that's healthy. So we'll throw theirs in there in our PowerChef. And this, guys, is not a ginormous garlic. This is a shallot. It's like, and actually it's a pretty big shallot sometimes. And shallots have sort of like a purplish kind of tint to the skin. So when you see them in the grocery store, they're, you know, about that size, but they have the purplish skin on them. And it's a cross between garlic and onion. So if you don't think that you can use, you know, you like garlic, and I'm just going to chop off the end there. Because I don't want the ends in there. And I'm going to whir this up a little bit in the PowerChef just to get it going a little bit. You always want to start with the hard things first in your PowerChef. So that's what I'm doing here. And then the next ingredients is the ginger. Now, this is another weird thing to buy at the store. It looks like a claw or a hand when you're in the grocery store. The ones today were like, massive. And I knew I did not need a whole claw of ginger. So, I mean, some people use ginger in tea. They steep it in water and they drink it, or you can use it in marinades. You can use it like what we're going to be doing in a marinade. But you want to peel off the skin. And I just taken my little peeler here, and I'm peeling off the skin. So I don't want the skin in my recipe. I only want the actual ginger. And it peels off pretty easy. So sort of like a carrot. And we're going to just use an inch. So it doesn't take much to be wonderful with this recipe. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that, using my cutting board from Tupperware. Love when we have our cutting boards. So here's my peeled ginger, and I'm going to throw that in there too. Maybe. There we go. Throw that in there. And the next ingredients are soy sauce, and you can use gluten-free if you want. See how nice this looks, guys? All like really, really fine, because this is going to be a marinade. I just love this Power Chef. It makes everything so easy. And then we're going to use our 1/2 cup of soy sauce. So I'm using my old measuring cups, but my other ones are, like I said, they're out in the garage. Woo. And we're going to put that in here. I always put my finger over the top where, you know, you put your thing in there so you don't mess it up here. And the next thing is a 1/4 cup of fresh lime juice. So, you know the trick with limes, you want to roll them or keep them out on the cupboard so that they're warm. Or if you want, you can actually take them and zap them in the microwave for like 10 seconds if you want. But I don't really want to do that right now. I just want to zap it, put it into my Zest and Press and zest out. A 1/4 cup of lime juice. So you have another fresh ingredient. And I was afraid that I would need 2 limes, but with the Zest and Press, look, it totally takes it inside out. And I'm going to use the other little bit. I'm going to have to be careful I don't overflow my 1/4 cup right here. All right, there we go. 1/4 cup of lime juice. Wonderful marinade. I've had this recipe cold and just marinate the shrimp, you know, after, you know, so, and just marinate after I've cooked the shrimp. But I'm going to marinate them now. And then we need a teaspoon of sugar. And this will just cut through the acidity and make it much better there. And then 1/8 cup of safflower, and I don't have safflower, so I'm using olive oil. You can definitely use safflower. Safflower is actually a little bit healthier for you sometimes than olive oil. I used 1/3 cup, just not all the way to the top. And my recipe called for green onions, and I would really recommend the green onions, but I forgot to buy them at the store today. So I'm just going to use a little bit of cilantro just to make it a little green in there. I'm going to whir this up. And the recipe says to marinate these for 20 minutes. Well, obviously we don't have 20 minutes. So I'm going to just put them in the Smart Steamer in our Power Chef. The shrimp. I had them in the refrigerator. I didn't want them to get cold, warm, I should say. So putting them in here like this. Oh my goodness, someone's trying to call me and I'm on this call. All right, so I'm just mixing them up. See, look how yummy these look. Can you see? Yum! And the flavors would really take on with the shrimp if you let them sit there for a little bit longer and marinated them. But in our TV here, we are going to put them in our Smart Steamer. Now, I already peeled these. Now, these are raw shrimp, and the raw shrimp without all the outer, you know, casings or anything. But I left the little tails on them. You can buy them already like that, but don't get the cooked ones, because that sort of defeats the purpose of steaming them if they're cooked. And then they'll be like tough. And you don't need to do this very long. This is going to be an easy recipe. So, and you just put them in like one layer like that. And then we're going to put them in the top layer like this, so that we get them all spread out. There we go. One more. Here to go. Oh, no, that's it. They're all done. Okay. So you can see if I would have reserved some of this marinade before I put the shrimp in, it would be good to pour over it after they were already cooked. But I didn't do that, so I can't do that. So I'm going to put these in the microwave for the 10 minutes, and then we can come back and see how wonderful they are. So that's how easy that recipe is.
Awesome, Pam. Okay, we have a couple of questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. One of them is, if you don't like ginger, what would you use to substitute?
Gosh, that's really the whole thing. Because it's a very pungent kind of like root that would make it. How do you know you don't like ginger? I mean, I would try it first. Yeah, lemongrass would be a good one, Johnny. That would be lemongrass, but that's very similar to ginger.
And someone also said allspice or nutmeg, maybe. Like that. You know what I was thinking? If you don't like ginger, is you would literally need a different recipe. That's what I'm thinking. Like you would just use a different marinade.
Yeah, right? You could use a teriyaki marinade, right. Or something like that. And then just instead of doing soy sauce, you would do teriyaki and lime and garlic and shallots. Yeah, you could do it that way.
Good, awesome. Well, thank you, Callie. We're gonna come back to you, okay?
Yeah.
So you stay. Well, just don't go away.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay, hang on. Let me unpin you. Give me a second here. All righty then. All right, so that was wonderful. Make sure you guys have any other questions or anything that you want to say in the chat bar for Pam. And we're going to go over to Megan. Let me see where Megan is. Actually, you know what, Callie? I'm going to mute you now, okay?
Good.
Okay. We're going to go over to Megan. I'm going to unmute Megan. Hi, Megan.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really excited to see this new game. I know a lot of people are. So I'm going to pin your video. And remember, you guys, just click on her video and it pin if you want to just see her. All right, I've got you pinned. You go for it, Megan. The floor is yours.
Okay. How do you pin it? I don't know how you mean. What do you mean by that?
Click on your picture at the top or the side. Mine are at the top. Yours might be at the side. There's a little drop-down box that says pin.
Okay. Okay, I'll look after. But
okay, that's fine.
Okay.
All right, go for it, Megan.
Okay, Judah, come on. Sorry, and I have to give them the.
That's all right. Yeah, you're good.
So, all right, all my big kids aren't home to help out, and I got sick one here too. So hopefully they'll give me the whole 15 minutes. But okay, so we're gonna do a quick little game, and I'm sorry if I talk fast because I'm gonna try to fit it in, and I want to give you a good idea of the game, but you can kind of tweak it and add different ingredients or change things depending on the month or whatever. But I'm just going to kind of go through it, and I might be switching back and forth a little bit, trying to tell you how to do the game and treating you almost as a participant in the game too. So I hope it's not too confusing. But so we're actually going to have a pantry raid. Who's ready for a pantry raid? Woo! Right? I mean, okay, maybe you don't think that's funny, but I was going to say, if you know what a panty raid is, then I just took a play on words with that too. So if you don't think your guests are in the mood for, a joke about panty raids, then don't use it. But the goal is to fit better in your panties, right? So we're going to talk about how to upgrade your pantry by doing a pantry raid and getting out some of the things you shouldn't have in there and put in some of the things that you should. So we're going to play a little game to do that. So by doing that, I have a little scorecard for you. It's nothing fancy, and you can even upgrade this in any way that you want for your own pantry raid. But it's just a plain little card. It kind of looks like a golf scorecard. And that's because, don't tell the guests this at first, but the goal is not to have the highest score. So what they're going to start doing, though, is give themselves a check mark every time you talk about something that they had in their pantry at home. Okay, they get a check mark for it, and they're going to get points for all the things that they have that you mentioned. Because the first thing we're going to do is kind of talk about the not so good things. And then I'm going to give some ideas on what alternatives to use and how to raid the pantry and get those out, and then some ideas why. And then they can earn some points back that way. So you don't want to tell them all that to begin with. You're going to just tell them to score their points, give them all a card, and tell them to write their name on it, and give themselves a check mark or 1 point for each thing that's similar to what you have. And I'll tell you what I mean as I go through. So I'm just bringing like a box, a small box, not a lot of stuff, of just some different things. And of course, none of them are in Tupperware, because the whole goal too is not just two things. One is to help people learn how to eat healthier, but secondly is to take those products and put them in modular mates, or using our products, how to keep them lasting longer, stay fresher, and all that. Of course, we're talking more modular mates this month because of the sale, but you can use this, in many different ways, like our counterscaping, if we're talking about the oils and things like that. Okay, but so I'm just going to start with a few things. And so if you've got your scorecard, you go ahead and give yourself points as I mentioned some things. All right, how about oils? Do you have oils in your pantry or your shelves at home? And I'm always careful to say like cupboards and shelves and pantry and alternate them, because some people don't have a pantry or don't have a big pantry. And so I don't want anyone to be offended, because, if they just have cupboards, I use that too. So I alternate. But if you've got any vegetable oil, or yes, even canola oil, go ahead and give yourself a point for that, okay? How about crackers? Who's got crackers? Give yourself a point if you've got any kind of crackers. That can be Ritz crackers, Townhouse crackers, saltine crackers. Go ahead and put those, give yourself a point for that. And rice. Who loves rice? I mean, we talked last week about cauliflower rice, right? Making cauliflower into rice in our recipe. Well, how about rice? Any kind of seasoned rice, pre-seasoned, or white rice. Give yourself a point if you've got any of those in your cupboards at home. All right. And, beans. Love beans. Okay. How about beans in sauce? Give yourself a point if you've got beans in sauce. And by that, I mean these wonderful maple cured bacon beans, right? Don't those look great? I love the two words maple and bacon. Okay, and how about pork and beans? These are what I mean by beans in sauce. So if you've got those, any flavor, go ahead and put them, give yourself points for that. And then the next thing, you just kind of go down the list in whatever things you decide to bring. And these are just, I tried to get some of the staples that I'm going to, explain a little more on. So fruit in syrup, okay, any kind of fruit in syrup. So it could be fruit cocktail or peaches, pears, all that fruit and syrup. And even those little snacky ones that the kids like to take for lunches, give yourself points if you've got that. Okay. And soda, any kind of soda pop, any flavor. Yes, especially diet. Give yourself points for it. All right. And then what do we got back here? How about snacks like the good old Pop-Tart? Anything like that, including those prepackaged, last forever on the shelves, granola bars. Those count in the same category. Give yourself points if you've got all of those. Okay, and then white pasta. And guess what? Even wheat wheat pasta. Give yourself points if you've got white or wheat pasta in your pantry. Okay, and then, here's my favorite. This is my favorite. You guys are gonna love this, right? This is what I bring to my party. Did you hear that? That's my sugar. Okay, this is just regular white sugar. It's hard as a rock, okay? Obviously, it's not in Tupperware, and I'm not using it, clearly. It's been in, going to and from places for a while, and it's stored in my basement. So, hard as a rock. Look, I knocked something right off my counter with it because it's so hard. So, I take that too. So, you got your sugar. You got sugar, white sugar. In your pantry, on your shelf, give yourself a point. And then all the snacky things, okay? So chips, pretzels, the orange popcorn stuff. What is it called? I forget what they're called. But and the curly Q thingies, all of those, that whole aisle of Cheetos, yeah, Cheetos, Fritos, Doritos, like the Eatos. Loretta talks about having the Edo box. I say throw the whole thing out and use that for something else. She says use what your modular make for, the rectangle for all your Edos. I say throw out Edos. But okay, anyway, we're not to that point yet. But okay, any kind of chips, snacks, that. All right. So, one more wonderful thing. Who remembers these? Somebody's got to remember these, right? We got these in Tupperware. They gave us these one time. Can you see it? Is it a glare? Anyway, this is just an example, though, and the reason I still have them is because I don't use it. But Splenda, Sweet and Low, all those artificial sweeteners. That's my key word. Remember that. Okay, give yourself points if you've got any of those. So, and I'm sure this is the average American household that has some or almost all of these, plus a few other things. So don't feel bad if you've got a lot of these. We want a high score right now, right? So I want everybody to add up the points. If you had anything similar to those things, it didn't have to be exactly, like I tried to mention, Townhouse, Ritz, we're not getting picky on what kind or anything like that. You add up all your points. So now I'm going to go ahead and ask my guests who have, what are all the scores? Do you have 4 points? Do you have 10 points? Who's got the highest score in the room? And it turns out somebody has 12 points, right? And you're like, woo, you're the winner. You are the winner of the next pantry raid because you need me to come have a pantry raid at your house. Because the goal of this game, and that's when you tell them, is to have the lowest score. It's kind of like golf, and that's why it looks like this. It's kind of like golf. You want to have a low score. So if you've got the highest score, you need me to come and do a pantry raid and help you clean out your pantry. Okay, so never fear though, because we tell everybody at the party that you now get to lower your score. So if you want to have that, it's not like in golf, like when it's done, right? No, we get to go back. So now you're going to go in the next row here in the raid department, and we're going to raid your own pantry from your seat where you're sitting. And I'm going to show you some substitutes and what you can do. And if you hear something that you like, or something that maybe you don't like so much, but you're thinking you might try it, or if you hear something that just is a new idea for you, any of those options, there's something somebody in your family would like, then go ahead and give yourself an X because you're going to take a point away from your points, okay? So now I'm going to move on to the part of the party where I start talking about the healthy side of it, okay? And I start by saying that, why would you need a pantry raid? Well, you think probably I like everything in my pantry, right? I got all these things and I like them, so I don't want you to come raid my pantry. Well, I try to tell people it's kind of like getting a personal trainer because you can go buy a DVD because you feel like you need to. It's the beginning of the year for working out, right? Or even join a gym, right? But who's going to hold you accountable? Maybe you will for a little while, but the trends show that it doesn't stay for a long time. And I think our pantries are just like that too. So our customers need us. They need us to come in and kind of, even maybe it's once a year, and kind of, redo what I needed for myself. 6 to 9 months, I look and I'm like, where did all this crap come from? This wasn't in there, and this isn't in the container. I went to get my tea just like 45 minutes ago, and it was in the noodle container. So, I mean, we all kind of need to raid our pantries at some point and change things, whether it's for health reasons or it just kind of gets a little messed up. So they do need us. And plus, this is like an individualized program. It's not just a one for all, just like a personal trainer does. We get to do that too. We get to go in one-on-one in a custom kitchen planning session. And this is the part of the game, I'm starting to explain a little bit more about what we do at a party and what we can offer to our customers, okay? But one of the most important things is you want to have a baseline. And this is one of the things that I just know from working out and from working with people in an exercise setting is that it's nice to have a baseline, even though people don't like that. They don't like the before picture. Nobody likes it, right? But when you get to the after picture or the after picture, you're so happy you had the before picture because you can see how far you've come. And it's really important. So that's one of the important things I say, let's just do that baseline. And usually people don't just do that on their own. So they need a little motivation and encouragement. So we can provide that too. So we want to get those before shots because you want to see your progress afterwards. Okay, so like I said, this is the typical American family. So let's switch it up a little bit. And I'm going to tell you some tips and some different substitutions. Okay, now don't look at my whole pantry because it's not really that clean. Okay, and it's not really that organized. So, and yes, I have freezer mates in there too. So, but you can, like I said, use this any month. It doesn't have to be just when we have Mazra mates on sale because you want to tweak it to if you're, smart steamer or counterscaping or however, you can use things in your pantry to explain. Like we're talking about our nuts, add in the Power Chef. So I'm not going to go into all of that, though, just for the sake of this part of the game and the time factor, okay? But one of the things that I want to tell you is that we want to start with getting rid of our sugar. And this is such a big item. I really want to talk about why we should throw the sugar out, okay? Get rid of the sugar because it's no good. No white sugar. It's just not good. In fact, most of the white isn't. The white flour, the white sugar, the white pasta, we should really get that out of the pantry. That's one of the things you want to raid, and you want to get rid of it. And in fact, mostly you want to get rid of the wheat too, because a lot of people now have wheat allergies. They aren't, but it isn't even that healthy. You want to look for whole grain. So I've got my flour up here. Oh, I was supposed to turn this. Sorry. No. I got my flour up here, and it is, we got buckwheat flour and whole grain flour. And you might go, oh, but you really, once you start using these items, you forget about the other, and you start feeling so much better that you don't realize how bad you felt when you ate the not so good for you stuff. So I promise you, it does change. Even if the taste is a little different, you adjust to it after a little bit of time, and so will your family. So that's your flours. Okay, so sugars and flours, and I'm going to focus a little bit more on the sugar because I'm going to give you some good substitutes. For the sugars, your pure maple syrup, okay? Who already uses that? If you use pure maple syrup already, then go ahead and mark that off. You're going to take points off now off of your score and bring that score down because that's a wonderful thing. Pure. I don't mean this stuff. And yes, I have it in my pantry because the kids love it and they don't understand. When I keep telling them to use my pure maple syrup, they don't want to. So me and my husband do. They want this stuff. But I honestly would challenge you to read the back of it and find out how many forms of sugar that are nasty for you are in there, because there's usually 5 or 6. And one of the keywords is high fructose corn syrup. Do a little mini study. You can Google it for probably 5 minutes and realize what a terrible thing it is for you. And it's in almost everything that's in packaging. You'll be surprised. In like wheat tortillas, high fructose corn syrup. It's unbelievable, but it's not good for you at all. So those are the kind of things you want to get out. Use the pure maple syrup. You can use it in your baking. Use it in your, actually in the MicroPro grill. A great little recipe for snacks is with your nuts. Go ahead and use your nuts in there, walnuts or pecans, and use pure maple syrup. You put it in your MicroPro grill just for a couple of minutes. And you've got great little, your own candied nuts. Because I even tell you to get rid of your candied nuts and use the unsalted, dry, roasted nuts. Because you're going to candy them yourself with your proper sugar forms. Another one is like stevia. You can get stevia in a liquid, in a powder. It's all natural, and it's great for you. It has no calories. Some people think it's a little bitter, but again, I promise you, you get used to it after a short time. And then another one, honey. You know honey, right? Honey is fantastic. It's a great sweetener, and it's natural. Okay, it does have some calorie in it too, but it's nothing like the whole sugar. I could do a whole series of talks on sugar because there's so much bad stuff in the regular white sugar that we eat. It's just nasty. Get the sugar out. Lots of, dates. Dates are great for sugar too in your baking. You can use that and you get your sweetener right in that in your baking. So there's a lot of other forms of that. Okay, so something else I'm going to tell you. Oh, when I mentioned your oils, right? You can go to something like a coconut oil. Coconut oil is amazing. And you know what it does? It actually burns energy, burns off as energy instead of being stored as fat. So it's right from the get-go. It's great for you. And then you heard me say I love avocados if you were on last week. This is avocado oil. Love it. In our counterscaping, it's amazing. You use that instead of your vegetable, your canola oils. I know we hear canola oil is better than vegetable oil, but it's still not good for you just because it's better than something else. Or extra virgin olive oil. You can use that as well too. So some different kinds of oils. All right, use those, replace those. And then your white or your wheat pasta, you want to get rid of those and go to the whole grain. Not wheat, but whole grain. And then another thing is, instead of just a regular pasta, quinoa. Quinoa is like a seed. It is a seed. We treat it more like a grain, but it's a fantastic option for you to use, even in place of like a rice or a pasta. And it's amazing dishes with that. You got your brown rice too. You could change your rices and use your brown rice. Also, the beans. We wanted to get rid of the beans in sauce, and that's because we want some great good for you beans, right? So get some black beans and have them in your modular mates ready to go. Power balls are little balls. You can have peanut butter chocolate ones that are fantastic and all natural healthy for you. I have a ton of recipes for power balls, but black beans are great in them and they're so good for you. So having some cans on hand in your pantry, what you want. You got your chickpeas, great, another fantastic, wonderful, healthy option instead of the pork and beans or the Bush's baked beans. Don't get me wrong. Bush's, I'd love to hear, they're really not good for you. All right. And then, and the chickpeas, another great snack in the MicroPro grill. Another fantastic one with the pure maple syrup on it. All right, that's another recipe. All these different recipes are things you can do at your parties as well, too. When someone plans their next party or pantry raid, fit those in. And then your refried, fat-free refried beans. These, you can make your own, or you can have them like this, as long as there's nothing else. Check in your labels and see what's in your cupboard and the labels, and get rid of the things that have, 3 or more ingredients. They should just have the basic. So another canned item you want to have in your pantry is some pumpkin. I know you think, well, not only certain times a year, but it's a great addition to baking recipes too, especially if it's organic. But it's a great addition that you can add and fill up. And usually it's a good filler. Okay, it has a lot of great flavor. So let's see what else. Another thing with your instead of the white or the seasoned rice. And when you talked about, I said whole grains, and I mentioned quinoa, to mention maybe steel cut oats also, or organic popcorn, and with some sea salt and a little bit of olive oil. That's your fantastic flavorful popcorn, instead of like the microwave popcorns that are all buttered down and all kinds of other nonsense. Did I mention this? All right, and another thing that I wanted to mention was, what we're trying to do here is get people to mark down each time taking off points, right? They're taking off points because they're saying, oh, I like that idea, or I heard of that, but I never tried it yet. I'm willing to. So kind of incorporate that and try to get everybody into, yeah, I'm gonna try that now. How about some chia seeds? That's a new package. That's why it's not in my Tupperware yet, but it's a new package. I just got it. So chia seeds, it's another wonderful thing to add to your smoothies. You want to have chia seeds in there, you can add them to your oatmeal. It's such a great addition to a few different things, and it's a really healthy item that you want to have them. I promise. Hot sauce is another one. If you've got hot sauce, that's another good thing. It boosts your metabolism a little bit too. And I'm not saying it's going to help you, raring with your metabolism, but it's a little bit of a boost, and it adds flavor when you're trying to cut down in other ways and take some of that fat out too. And that's what we're talking about here, trying to get things. Option instead of the oils, I'm sorry, I skipped this one, was ghee. G-H-E-E, ghee. If you haven't heard of it, it's clarified butter. And I used to think the word ghee just sounded like lard, just nasty. But actually, now that I'm lactose intolerant, I've realized in the last 8 or 10 years that it actually is, because it's dairy free and it's natural. So you can use that. So that's another option. And as far as cooking with your using vinegars, which you have so many uses for vinegar, it's definitely a pantry essential, whether it's for cleaning or just so many in the wash, a million things. But this is one of my favorites. Now, this is apple cider vinegar, but you can find some in the store that have, and don't get scared, because it'll say with the mother. And it has a little bit of sediment looking thing on the bottom. Don't let that scare you, because that's actually some good stuff that's really healthy for your gut. So if you can get that, some stores only, have them at that more of the healthier food stores. So if you have that, get that kind too. So this is a really good addition to a lot of your meals. So those are some of the things you want to have. If you heard some ideas there, if you got some different suggestions that you would swap out when you get home, go ahead and take your cards now and mark off X's on all those and subtract your points. So this is the part of the party of the game when I ask everybody to add up their points again the second time. So they're adding up their points, and hopefully their score is lower, I hope. So that's the whole point. We want a lower score, and I want them to, shoot out some numbers. So is it a 2? Do we have a 3? Do we have a 4? Do we bring some of those numbers down? So we find out who got the lowest score, and then that person's going to win a prize, right? Because they got the lowest score, whether it was highest, lowest, it's either way. But then here's the best part is that I say to everybody, now, if you would like to lower your grocery bill, lower the number on the scale, low blood pressure, your sugar intake, if you want to lower any of those items, then I'll give you a score of 0 right now. If you flip your card over and put your name and your address of where I can come to do your pantry raid right now. So go ahead and fill that out. We'll give you a score of 0, and you get, Tupper Bucks, or you get your tickets if you do tickets, or you get your prize, however you want to do that. But that's when they're going to flip their scorecard over. I need a pantry raid. Come to my house. So that way you get a score of 0, and then they kind of win at that point too. So, and I always try to finish with that. They set their date before they leave that night at the party. And I just, whoops. Sorry, I thought I had another note here. I just want to make sure I didn't forget anything. And the last thing I just finished with is letting everybody know that it may take some time and a couple of months to work things out after kind of raiding your own pantry, but it's definitely a benefit, because being prepared isn't half the battle. Like we hear people say all the time, being prepared is the battle. So if you're ready to fight, let's have a pantry raid. That's it.
Megan, I loved it, and it was so funny because it is a play on words, and I think the game it's going to be so fun, and I know that some people might be a little bit like, wow, it's a lot of information, but that's what's okay about this is you can tweak it to what you need to be. And she gave you all the information so that you guys can hear different things and you can see different things, because I don't think a lot of us knew that, like what are the alternatives for this or that. And so, yeah, I thought it was, and you know what I'm hearing over here, it was very informative, and I'm doing a lot of it. Thanks, Megan. I learned something, good stuff. It was great information. I'm going here going, I didn't know that. I had no idea. So I'm loving it. I love that you share all of this. I have the game cards. I think they're the cards, right? That's what you sent me, was the game cards.
Yeah. Well, I have these, like, there's 4 on a card, 4 on a page.
4 on a page, right. So I have them, and I'm going to put those out so you guys will have her scorecards. So thank you so much, Megan. I really do appreciate you doing this tonight. I know it was really difficult for you because I know your little one is really, really sick. Yes, and we have good info. Love the substitutions. I loved it. Learned I need to eat better. Great info. Thanks for sharing. Everybody's loving this. So I think it's wonderful. And I love that you just opened up your cupboards and let us see inside.
I don't know that part.
So it's good.
I'm going to close them now.
I love that. I mean, I think it just shows the realness. So I'm really excited because there's a few things in my cupboard that I'm like, ooh, I need to switch that. So good. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to mute you now. Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And I'm going to pin somebody else's video. Hang on one second. There you are, mute audio. So thanks a lot. If anybody has questions, I forgot to say that. If you have questions for Megan, go ahead and put them in the chat and we'll do them at the end. I'm going to put Lori on. I'm pinning Lori's video. Let's see if I can unmute her. Is she muted?
Am I muted?
Oh, you're not muted. Okay, awesome.
Okay.
So Lori, you're all about the facts. So if you guys need to pin her video, just click on her video and she will pin. And you go for it, Lori.
Okay, thanks, Sam. All right, so you know that these segments are split into fun, food, and facts. So you would do your facts on whatever you're cooking at your party. So I'm going to do my facts on what Callie made, which is the shrimp, the ginger shrimp in the Smart Steamer. So what is good about the facts is, instead of you just telling people all the different things about the product that you that you're using, or the benefits of the food, this month we're concentrating on healthy foods. You can take the facts that I have or that you have, and before the party, you can put them on little 3x5 pieces of paper and laminate them. So what's fun to get people interactive at your parties is when you're ready to do your food demo,
you pass out these cards to everybody. So, say you have 20 different facts, you can, if you have 20 people there, that's even better. You give everybody one card and, but otherwise you just split them up. You deal the cards to them. So as you're going along with your demo and you're starting to use your smart steamer, you can say, okay, who's got a fact about the smart steamer? So Sally raises her hand and says, I do. And you ask Sally to read it. So she tells you about whatever is on her card, and then you can talk more about it. You can ad lib. It just has to be one sentence on the card, and then that's kind of your little cheat sheet and your cue to elaborate on that a little bit. But it's a fun way to get people interactive when you're doing your demo, instead of, if you feel sometimes you go to a party and you're just kind of standing there and you can only get so many people to help you do your demo, and then the rest of them are looking at you like, you've got three heads or something. So kind of takes the pressure off of you, gets them interactive, gets them to have a little fun. So I will send these facts that I have for this recipe from Callie to Sam, and then she can put them out there. And then you can pick and choose what you want to use from what I'm going to give and put them on little cards. Or if there's other facts that that I didn't include tonight, you can add your own. So you could start with the ingredients in her recipes. So we did ginger shrimp. So shrimp is really good for you. Aside from the protein that you get from chicken, shrimp provides a lot of nutrients. It'll provide 100% of your daily value that you need every day of selenium. It's 75% of what you need in B12. It's 50% phosphorus. So shrimp is really, really good for you. And with this recipe, there really is no substitution for shrimp because it's a shrimp recipe. Ginger, Callie kind of touched on ginger. Ginger is really, really good for you. The main thing that it helps, it aids in digestion. So if your stomach's a little bit upset, you can chew on a little raw ginger. It's really good for expectant moms who have morning sickness. So if they can stomach chewing on a little bit of ginger, great. But you can steep it and put it in tea. It's also good if you know someone that is fighting cancer and going through chemo. There's a lot of side effects of chemo that go along with nausea and a loss of appetite. And ginger is proven to not only help fight the nausea, but to help increase your appetite. Ginger also has a lot of antioxidants, so it fights free radicals. That's one of the things that benefits fighting free radicals is what keeps you looking young, just like skincare. If you put cream on your face, that helps fight the free radicals. It helps rejuvenate and keep away all the things that age you. So that's kind of what free radicals are. It also warms you up. It increases your body temperature, which it increases your vascular constriction. So ginger tea will warm you up from the outside. It soothes the cough. So if you've got that hacking cough, which a lot of us do, and have had for a month, like me, you can put some ginger in some tea and add a little honey, and that'll help your cough. It reduces your cholesterol levels. So it lowers your LDL cholesterol, which is your bad cholesterol, and it raises your HDL, which is the good cholesterol. I found this today. I thought this was interesting. When you sweat, you release, if you have ginger in your system, it says to chew on a little bit of raw ginger before you work out. So when you sweat, it releases an antibacterial agent. So if you tend to be one of those people that sweat a lot and it happens to smell, this is supposed to help it not to smell. So I haven't tried it. I should maybe try it tomorrow morning when I go to the gym and see if it really does work. But that was kind of a fun fact about ginger. And if you're suffering from arthritis, it's proven to ease your joints. So, those are a few things about the ginger and the shrimp that you can jot down on cards and pass out to people. And sometimes if you've got fun little facts, people, really enjoy that. And the benefits of the steamer. Now, if you've been in Tupperware for any amount of time, you know that the steamer is probably one of our healthiest products that we have and we use. And the number one reason that it's more healthy to steam your food is that it helps retain the vitamins and the minerals of all of your vegetables. So you lose a lot of the nutrients when you cook conventionally. So when you put them on the stove and you put them in water and you cook them, all the nutrients go into the water. And then what do? You drain the water, which drains all the nutrients out. So the number one reason that we like to use the Smart Steamer is that it retains all the minerals and the nutrients of the vegetables that you steam. It also lowers your cholesterol because if you're cooking meat or chicken, what it does is it draws the fat away. So, you put everything in that little basket, and when you're done cooking your chicken or your beef and you take the basket out and you look in that water, all of the fat and all of the grease goes into that water. So it takes your all of the fat from your food away from it. You're not cooking in it. It's also helpful because you don't need to cook in oil and in fat and in butter because you use the water and the steam to cook your food. It also preserves the color and the taste of your vegetables. So, it keeps it in its almost close to raw form while cooking it through and warming it up. So that's another benefit of our steamer. And the best thing is that it's quick and easy. You cook over one single heat source, which you can stack, which is what we do with our steamer. We put something in the basket, we put something in the smaller basket, and we put the cover on. So because there's only one way that we're cooking, you keep it all together and it's quick and easy. And the best thing is that it keeps your kitchen clean because there's no cleanup except for your Smart Steamer. So, those are the main reasons that our Smart Steamer is so great. So, I encourage you to, think of different recipes. I think we're going to have maybe one more recipe or two more recipes in our Smart Steamer going forward through the rest of the month. But take them to your parties. For $20, it's a steal. And whatever you can think of to cook in it, people will love it once you explain the benefits. And, hopefully you can recruit a whole team just by demoing the Smart Steamer. So those are my facts for the recipe in the steamer.
Thank you, Lori. That was so awesome. I love all the facts. And I know she said to go ahead and jot them down because we don't actually have those ones on a PDF form, right?
But I can send them. I said in the beginning, I can send them and then
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then you can take them and print them and put them on cards and laminate them.
Perfect. I think I love that idea. We said that last week, one of you guys did, about laminating these fact cards because just having them with you, you don't have to talk about every single fact every single time, but if you're doing this recipe, it's like a theme, like it's a whole package together. And so it's really, really great. So you've done your homework and you did a good job. And the one thing that you said something about the ginger was, moms that are pregnant, soon to be moms or, it helps with morning sickness. And we have that book, that cookbook, I forget, Mama Eats Well.
Mama Eats Well, yeah.
So that's really great that could something that could go hand in hand with that. So it's you guys could know. So thank you so much for all those facts. I really appreciate that. Okay, let's see if we have. I never knew that there were so many benefits using ginger. I learned a lot. Thank you for sharing your info.
You know what? If I can interrupt, there was one fun fact about the ginger that I forgot to tell you.
What?
Is that ginger is an aphrodisiac.
Oh, well, okay, there you go.
So make something with ginger and then, that'll start a whole nother conversation at your party.
Well, you take the ginger to make the baby and then you eat the ginger to help with the morning sickness.
Right, exactly. Right. So yeah, but I
go there. Perfect. Okay, I love it. I love it so much. All right, Lori, thank you again. I really do
All right, sure.
appreciate you. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, so this has been the Core 4 so far. This is week 2 of 2017. I think it's rocked. I mean, it's been awesome. What do you guys think? Tell us in the chat bar if you like this new way that we're doing Fun Food and Facts because, we say we have Love It, which is good. I love it. We get to share so much more information. And to be honest, it's not just me the whole entire time, you know? I mean, we all can get sick of hearing me talk. I get sick of hearing me talk, and I love learning new things every single week. So it is wonderful. I love the new format. So much more fun and thought-provoking. I agree. It was a nice breakup. Thank you. I love it. Oh, good. I'm so glad you guys are loving it. Okay. I'm going to end the recording real quick, and then I'm going to tell you guys about the AHA. So hang on a second. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us.